Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. Friends, I have a guest in the kitchen today. You may know him as Jon. His real name, we can't share that online, okay? Corporate insists that we keep his identity secret. Okay? It's already starting off weird, guys. It's already starting off.
I'm sorry, that was too funny.
He never knows what to expect from me. That's the best part. Listen, we need to get some business handled, okay? But first I'm going to tell you what the video is about because that's what a professional would do. This video, we're going to be making some copycat recipes. Ooh. We've got a little treaty treat. We've got, I guess you could call it an appetizer, a starter, if you will. And we have a full-on entree, which is great because I'm pretty hungry. I don't know about you, Jon. We're going to get jamming on that. But first, we have some business from another video that we need to handle, Jonathan William Koska.
What?
Your fake name that the government did not assign you.
Still on that.
We're going with it. It's part of the get up now.
Okay.
In a previous video, I'm pretty sure it was my Costco haul. Yes, it was. Costco haul, we discussed chocolate strawberries. No, we did not. We discussed chocolate oranges, different fruit. Oranges. Or is it a fruit? I think it's a citrus. Moving on. You advised me that you don't remember these. Luckily, my friends do remember. Your own mother was in the comments saying...
I still don't remember
saying that she did, in fact, not deprive you in your childhood of these treasures. And she said your sister still requests them to this day.
Wow.
And yet you still do not remember, even though I sent you photos of these Terry's orange originals. I went ahead, move your face. I went ahead and grabbed it in the original. It was hard for me not to grab dark chocolate. But I can never remember if you like dark chocolate or milk chocolate. Milk. Good. Okay, so I picked the right one. But they also had move your face. I'm not a professional and it wasn't focusing, so we're going to try that again. We have the original. However, I also saw this one. Move your face. Now it's doing it. Good. White chocolate. I wanted the dark for myself, but I said, sister, you do not need 3. Now now my face is like highlighted, but yours isn't. We're doing awesome. Technology. Anyways, we are just gonna, should we try both, Jon? I want to try these because they're a priority to me.
Okay, sure.
Before we're affected by the other items.
All
you
right,
know?
let's try it.
Okay, hold on.
Let's try them.
Now, someone told me on the gram that these are hard to open. So I'm glad you're here with your biceps.
Why is this hard to open?
I don't know. She said that she remembers having to throw it at a wall to get it to open. That seems violent, you know? I'm just throwing stuff on the floor.
Okay, this was like open.
Oh, maybe since the 90s they've upgraded. I'm gonna take her word for it.
it.
Can you hold on a second?
Oh, okay.
I'm just opening it. So maybe, you know, there was a lot of shady stuff going on in the 90s. We had a lot of stuff we had to work through. So maybe
Wait, so is this like an actual orange?
No.
Oh.
It's just a chocolate that's flavored like an orange and looks like an orange, but it fakes you out. It's really just chocolate.
See, I don't remember this at all.
Okay, you have to try the original first. I should try the original first, too. It's probably been 15 years since I've had one. Apparently, Trader Joe's has their own version, but I got the one that I remember having. I'm going to try white. Thoughts, good sir?
Milk chocolate is the bee's knees.
It is.
The white chocolate, yeah.
The white chocolate let me down.
Yeah.
You can barely taste the orange in it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's good because it's white chocolate, and I like white chocolate, but I agree with you. The milk chocolate is the winner there.
Also, even after eating it, still, if I
still no memories flooded back.
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
I mean,
trying that right now, I feel like I tried it for the first time ever.
Well, you know, back then you were a picky eater, so maybe you thought that it was actually an orange, which has nutrition, and you were like, I'm allergic to nutrition.
Listen.
Am I wrong?
That's quite violent.
And quite accurate. Anyways, because we're adults and we can make our own decisions and do what we want, we have a permit. We're going to start off with dessert first.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to make the McDonald Shamrock shake, Jon.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I don't really know what we're doing tonight.
Yeah, he just showed up.
I'm here.
He didn't get the screenplay beforehand, you know what I mean? So we're going to do the Shamrock shake first, and I'm going to put you at the helm. Is that what you would say as a captain of a boat?
Good job.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Proud of myself.
You're driving the ship.
You're driving the ship, Jon. You're at the helm.
There you go.
Get that wheel.
Listen,
I'll be on the mast looking for pirates.
Been in the maritime industry for 20 years. So glad you got that right.
We're gonna bring you over there.
Is this how you're gonna just be like
bossing you around? Probably. Let's be real. Okay, let's get everybody a little closer here. All right, John, can you give me the instructions? Okay. I'll walk you through what we gotta do.
Walk me through, baby.
Okay, let's start with the milk. You need Let's start with taking that off. Yeah, that's a good idea. 1 1/4 cup milk. So just go right above the 1 line. Oh, you use that? Yeah. You trust that? Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm sure they get sued if they were wrong. I doubt it. You're probably right. So between that 1 line and then the 1 right above it would be 1 1/4 cup. Perfect. That's perfect right there. Okay. Next up, we need 2 cups of vanilla ice cream. So I'm gonna get you a scooper. We can also tell them how much 2 scoops, how many scoops equals cups, you know what I mean? This is great science. I'm guessing about 4 cups. 4 scoops. I can't with life. 2 cups? Yeah, I do 1 more scoopy. Cause it's not really like packed in, you know what I mean? That looks great. Good, sir. Yeah, I'd say that's 2 cups. Close enough. That peppermint extra. Oh wait, I need to put this in here. Yeah, put it in there. Dump it in. Perfect. Looking great. Okay, so you need a half of a teaspoon of peppermint extract. Peppermint extract. That's good. That's fine. Just pour away. If it's extra minty, it's fine. Beautiful. We're so good at this. Okay. Now you're going to do 8 drops of the green. This video is a fail. It is not a fail. How dare you? Okay, this is the peppermint extract that we got. Make sure to grab peppermint extract because anything else would probably taste like toothpaste and we don't want that. Okay, I put the 8 stuff in. You put the 8 in? Okay. All right, and that is it. Just go ahead and blend it up. That's all the Shamrock is? Yep. That's it? See you much. It's kind of thick. I feel like that's how a McDonald's shake is. They're not like the other places that are like super thick and awesome, you know? Perfect. Now, it says to put festive like green sprinkles on there, but we don't have that. We have Valentine's. I got these at Trader Joe's. They're cute. Okay, so they're gonna be a vibe. Everything's fine. It's Christmas season. We're making a St. Patrick's Day thing, and we're putting Valentine's sprinkles. So it's like it's holidays through up. Everything's fine. Oh, that looks so cute. Come on now. All right, so now let's spin you guys around and do a quick taste test on these bad boys. Okay, we've got the Shamrock shake. John's is the most shamrocky of all. That is minty. Oops. Wow, John. I enjoy it. I'm sure you do. So if you guys don't know, if you're new here, hi, how are you? How's the family? We're a hot mess. We're a hot mess. Great to meet you. And I don't really love mint things whatsoever because they tend to taste like toothpaste. In this case, this is borderline toothpaste to me. But I think... Now that you said that? Now that's all you can taste. I was like, make sure you use peppermint extract so it doesn't taste like toothpaste. However, John dropped in a bunch of peppermint extract. So to follow the recipe, be very careful. I feel like when he dumped it in, I didn't think it looked like that much, but it apparently was that much. So if you like mint, this wouldn't be like, I'm continuing to drink it. When you mix the whipped cream in, it's pretty good. We realized we didn't rate the Terry's chocolate. Let's start with the original. What's your rating on that one? I'm gonna go like 8. 8, okay. Yeah. I'd say also 8 for me. Yeah. White chocolate, I'm going 6. I'm going 5. 5? Yeah, it was just, it tasted bland. Like, I feel like the orange counteracted the white chocolate to me. I didn't even taste orange. It just tasted like flat white chocolate to me. So yeah. And what would you rate the Shamrock shake? Well, now that I know it tastes like toothpaste. Now you're like a 6? 6? Yeah, I'm going 6. I might even go 5.5. I, however, have never had the McDonald's version, so I can't tell you guys if it's comparable. Yeah, I think I've had it once before. It's definitely not as minty as this. And I feel like that one is more thick. Yeah, this one, so our ice cream, it was on the softer side. Yeah. Because I was trying to make it easier on us to scoop it out. So we did great with this first recipe, you guys. You should definitely continue following us for recipe guidance. Definitely. for sure. Okay, next up, I got started on this party before you got here because it requires proofing. So we have these Olive Garden breadsticks, or Copycat Olive Garden breadsticks. I recently, both of us actually, got to have some Olive Garden breadsticks because I went to dinner with one of my friends. So we have fresh in our memory what they taste like. So we're gonna get these. These are proofing right now. So we're waiting for them to double up in size, but I am gonna go ahead and get the oven preheated. All right, you guys, I wanted to pop in real quick with all of the steps I took before that clip you just saw where all of the breadsticks are laid out on a sheet pan. So first thing is you get some warm water, which is around 110 degrees, and you mix it with a little yeast and sugar and let that get frothy for a few minutes. While that was working, what I did was in my stand-up mixer, I put some melted butter, flour, and salt in there, mixing it together. And then once the yeast mixture was all set, I worked that in a little by little. I just kneaded that out inside my KitchenAid mixer for a few minutes, and then I turned the dough onto a floured surface and then used my biceps to get a little arm workout. And I just tried my best to work that until it got to a smooth and elasticy type finish. However, I will say that it's a very tough dough, but just trust the process. I would say that I probably needed to work a little harder at it, but we were kind of limited on time. So mine came out a little bit more rustic. If you have time to give it some extra bicep work, it'll probably come out even better. But once I got that all kneaded out and into a dough ball, then I took a towel that I had run under some warm water and let be damp a little bit, and I covered the bowl and then let it rise for about an hour or so until it doubled in size. Then I punched down that dough after the hour had finished, and I took a knife and I just cut my dough into 12 pieces. And then you want to roll those out to be about 7 inches long. I don't think I did 7 inches. I think I did it more like 5 inches, so make them a little longer than I did. And then keep them on a parchment paper lined baking sheet. I have these silicone mats from Amazon that I love so much that I can use in place of parchment. Then what you do is just cover up those breadsticks again and let them rise for about a half hour. And then once that's all set, then you're gonna preheat the oven to 400 degrees and bake those breadsticks for 12 to 15 minutes until they're lightly golden. I will have all recipes for these 3 Copycat recipes in the description box below. All right, that gets you caught up with what happened prior to this. Let's dive back into the video. All right, next up, Jonathan, on the menu, we have the P.F. Chang's chicken lettuce wraps.
Ooh.
They're like ground chicken. I don't know if I said that right. I don't even know if it says chicken in the title, but what's important here is they are lettuce wraps in the Copycat style of P.F. Chang's. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get started on dicing up the onion, the water chestnuts, and the garlic. I'm gonna mince the garlic. You, my friend, are going to get working on the ground chicken. So we're gonna tag team this. You're gonna get working on the ground chicken. All you have to do is just cook it on the stove. So
hard. Yep,
get yourself a skillet, put down a little oil, and put a third, because we have a 3-pound thing of ground chicken. So we're just gonna put a third of that in. You need a pound. Okay, let's get to work.
Got it.
We need half an onion.
I just washed my hands, so I don't want.
All right.
You said
do what you want.
A third?
Yeah, a third of that is getting put in there. We're gonna put this to the back. Okay, and we have these water chestnuts here that I drained already, and I'm just gonna chop those up.
You know what I just realized was like a third runner-up for me, or a second runner-up for me, for great memory.
What?
It was the Halloween party with Lonnie and Mike.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was like the perfect day.
Yeah. That was a long day. We drove down, set up the RV.
Yep.
Then went to the Halloween party until it closed.
Yep. That was wild. Okay.
And then we woke up and drove to Miami. Oh, just getting up close and personal.
It's looking good, it's looking good.
Kicking it down to medium.
Sir? Okay, so now that that is looking good,
It's looking fantastic.
we get the onion and garlic in there with it.
All right.
You want to mix it all in?
Sure. Absolutely.
And then we're just going to do a little squeezy squeeze of some ginger. Okay, so we're just stirring this a little bit. We're letting it cook for a few minutes to let the onion and garlic get a little soft. And while that's happening, I'm gonna pop the breadsticks in the oven. All right, so these breadsticks are going in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Our oven cooks kind of fast, so I'm gonna check it at like the 11-minute mark to be safe. Okay, so we're gonna get the other ingredients in there now. We're gonna do a 1/4 cup of hoisin sauce. And I just eyeball everything. That was probably more like a 1/3 cup, but everything's fine. We want a couple tablespoons of shoyu, aka soy sauce. We want just a little splashy splash of rice vinegar. I love rice vinegar because I feel like it is a very mild vinegar. And then we want about a teaspoon of sesame oil. Perfect. That looks delicious and it smells delicious. All right, now we're gonna get the water chestnuts in there. Can you help the girl out?
Does look really good though.
Water chestnut overboard.
Water chestnuts roasting over chicken.
That was really beautiful.
You like that?
Okay, so I washed up some romaine lettuce leaves earlier. 2?
Sure.
Okay.
Those are cute little boats.
Yeah. Do 2 as well. Small one.
Gotta save room for those breadsticks.
Yeah, that's the important thing here. All right. They're definitely not as long as Olive Garden's, but they look pretty promising. They've got a nice golden tan.
We like golden tan.
Yeah. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna brush them with some butter. Okay, so now I have a little melted butter mixture here. It's melted butter with some garlic powder and sea salt. So we're just gonna brush that right on here. We have like the world's worst pastry brush of all time. So there's that, but everything's fine. As always, thriving.
It seems to be working.
Yeah. All right, John, while we do this, why don't you share with the class? Come a little closer to the mic, John. Share with the class one of your top recommendations for married couples. We have been together 20 years. So why don't you tell us, and I'll see if you're right, you know, why don't you tell us a piece of advice you have for married people?
Happy wife, happy life.
Wow, that's a good one, John. That's tried and true. I agree. When I'm happy, your life is very happy.
Agreed. Oh, you caught me off guard with that one.
Did I? That's what I gotta do in life, man. It's all about catching you off guard.
Communication.
Oh, wow, that's a great one, John. Do you plan to start putting that into practice anytime?
Wow.
Wow, John.
Listening to your partner and anticipating her needs.
Oh,
his
okay.
needs
Okay.
to make their life just a little bit easier, to show your care.
I like that. I would say one of my recommendations is to try and remember that you're on the same team.
Yes.
It's not you versus them. It's you both versus the problem.
That's right.
And to give each other grace, because you're not the same people. You grew up with different backgrounds, different experiences, different ways of handling things.
Man, we're getting deep on
We
this
are.
video.
I just felt like it, you know? I actually wanted to do like an entire video where we like sat down and talked about our relationship. And we're not experts and we're not saying that we're perfect. We are a work in progress like everybody else. We work every day at it. But after 20 years, we have picked up a couple tidbits that we thought we could share with the class. If anybody out there has marriage advice and they've been together longer and happier than us, please leave it in the comments below.
You know what the number one thing is?
What?
Keeping as much light as possible.
Like just being positive?
And hilarious.
And hilarious.
And being married to you, it's
happens.
hilarious.
You guys, we've got P.F. Chang's lettuce wraps here. I'm excited about this. We let it cool off a few minutes while we prepared the breadsticks. And now we're letting the breadsticks cool off. We totally went out of order. We did dessert, then entree, then appetizer. That's a little wild of us. Our life is pretty boring, so we gotta mix it up where we can, you know?
Our life is boring? Mm-hmm. Our life is boring?
I mean, kinda.
Can't do just one bite. Gotta do two.
Gotta do two. So what did you think?
Those are fantastic.
Those are fantastic. What I love about it is it's very light.
Yeah.
But full of flavor. Like,
Flavor
so packed with flavor. And it's funny because every part of my being wanted to add like a little honey or brown sugar to sweeten it up. But I think just keep it exactly like it was. The hoisin sauce does add a little bit of sweetness to it. So I think that it was just perfection. I wouldn't change anything about this except if you wanted to. I feel like you could chop up some peanuts and like sprinkle those on top to get extra crunch. But the water chestnuts are a great crunch. So yeah. I'm gonna go 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna go 8.5.
8.5, that's still solid.
It tastes exactly the same.
As P.F. Chang's.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
haven't been there
We haven't been there in a while,
years,
but that was one of the ones that every time we went, we would order it. And we used to go pretty frequently. So I feel like we know what we're talking about when it comes to that one. Yes. So, but I like how light it is. I feel like, especially right now in this season of like indulging in heavy foods and desserts and baked goods and all of that, I think it's like a perfect dinner recipe to get on the menu. So solid. Definitely recommend that one. Okay, now we are going to try out the Olive Garden breadsticks. When Jon and I frequent the OG, what we do, and we don't really go there much anymore, but we used to. Fun fact, Hawaii used to not have an Olive Garden. So we used to not get to go to Olive Garden unless we traveled. And then anytime we traveled, we would always put that on the agenda. Which is funny because I feel like I cook really good Italian food and Olive Garden is kind of like fast food Italian, but it's a vibe. Mostly I want the breadsticks. So that's why making these, it's a big deal. I know what I was gonna say. I got lost there for a second, but now I know what I was gonna say. When we go to the Olive Garden, we always order an Alfredo dipping boat.
Always.
Always.
Must have.
So Jon just heated up some Rayo's Alfredo sauce. It's not the same. It's not as good as the Alfredo sauce at Olive Garden, but we're gonna try it plain first, and then we're gonna try dipping it in the Alfredo sauce. And we're gonna get our feedback to corporate about this. Here's what they look like. They're a miniature version. Move your face. They're a little rustic because your girl made them. It's kind of like half a breadstick, I would say, but it looks pretty good. Are we just gonna split this one? Sure. We don't need to go to Olive Garden anymore. We don't, Jon. I'm sorry if my makeup's a mess, by the way. I'm like melting at this point. I gotta dip it in the oil. You gotta dip it.
Oh yeah, Alfredo sauce is not the same.
The Alfredo sauce is not as good. What I gotta do is if I do this again, which I will do this again, I have to make my Alfredo sauce. Yes. And then this would be fire. It's already fire.
Those breadsticks, they might not look the same, but they taste delicious.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised because when I was putting the dough together, it was a very tough dough. It was not soft. It didn't rise the same way I'm used to bread rising. And I'm not like, I've made bread from scratch a good amount of times, but I definitely don't do it on like a majorly frequent basis. So I'm still not comfortable with like what it's supposed to look like all the time. So these,
I feel like every bread you've ever made though comes out
pretty good. I don't know, but these breadsticks, I was a little nervous. I was like, there's no way they're gonna measure up. But the outside definitely looks a little rough. But the texture of the inside is like that perfect like cloudy bread style. It's just like bouncy. I mean, I gotta rip one open. Look at the golden bottom. It almost reminds me of kind of like the croissant, you know, like when you make like a crescent roll and it gets that perfect. Just like, look at that. It's just perfect. I'm going 9 on the breadsticks. They would be a 10 with a homemade Alfredo sauce to dip it in. Or if you're a marinara fan, I think it would be a 10 dipped in marinara too. 9 for me. What's your score?
9.5.
9.5 for the breadsticks.
Yes, 9.5 for the breadsticks. I could eat that by itself.
Yes, that's really good. And
10
then
with your homemade Alfredo.
Okay, I agree. All right, well that wraps up this video. We got to try the orange from the 90s. It's not even, I bet it's even older than the 90s, but that's when I remember it from. We got to do the Shamrock shake. We got to do the fail. It wasn't really a fail. It just...
Too minty.
Too minty. Too toothpastey.
Toothpastey.
We did the P.F. Chang lettuce wraps. total success. And these Olive Garden breadsticks, total success. So if you are looking to have a fun Friday night at home with like an Italian menu, get those breadsticks on the menu. They really were not that bad to do. You just have to give yourself enough time for them to rise twice. And then the PF Chang's, I feel like, was so easy to throw together.
Win.
And it was like one pan basically, besides me having to rinse the lettuce wraps. But for the most part, it was one pan and pretty minimal on the ingredients. I think overall this was a total win. Let us know what your favorite restaurant meal is. Like, what's the restaurant that you love to go to, and what is the dish that you always order? Because I might want to do this again because it was kind of fun.
This was fun.
And I also loved having Jon in the kitchen. I got to boss him around a little bit. We got to have dessert before dinner because we were just like feeling frisky.
And we saved appetizer for dessert.
And we saved appetizer for dessert. We did it all backwards. Everything's fine. I almost forgot to say it, Jon. We're going to get this feedback over to corporate, and I hope we delivered whatever you needed when you clicked on that thumbnail. If this is your first time to one of our videos and you enjoyed the chaos, please feel free to subscribe, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye.